15 years. 15 years of marriage, shared bills, shared memories, shared dreams. And for all that time, I believed we were solid. I believed in Lisa, in us, in the quiet life we had built together. But one night, everything changed. It wasn't subtle, and it wasn't private. It happened at a bachelorette party for one of her colleagues. A casual night out that I thought would be harmless fun. I had no idea that this night would unravel every certainty I had about my life. I got the text first. A blurry photo from the party. Lisa, laughing with a man I didn't recognize, his hand wrapped around her waist far too comfortably. I stared at the screen, the image shaking in my fingers. My heart thudded. I told myself it must be a mistake. Maybe a joke. Maybe someone else entirely. But when I confronted her later, the truth came out with the blunt force of a sledgehammer. "It's nothing," she said at first, her tone breezy, casual, the kind of dismissive tone I hadn't heard in years. "Just fun, harmless." Fun? Harmless? 15 years of trust dissolved in a single night of laughter and dancing. I couldn't even find the words. She continued, unbothered by the storm raging inside me. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to feel alive again," she admitted. That was the moment I realized our marriage, the life we had spent years nurturing, had been a fragile facade. One night, one careless decision, had stripped away everything I had believed to be solid. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I simply walked away. I let her live with the consequences of that night. And more importantly, I let her believe she could return to normal, that I would simply forgive and forget. But I had plans of my own. For the next few days, Lisa tried to bridge the gap, sending texts, calls, and long apologies. It meant nothing, she claimed. It was a mistake. Please, let's not throw away 15 years. But I knew better. 15 years weren't thrown away by a single night, but by the choices made that night. The betrayal, the thrill of deceit, the casual disregard for the life we had built together. So I stayed silent. I let her calls ring. I let the text messages pile up unread. I focused on myself, on my work, on rediscovering the man I had become during the quiet, neglected years of our marriage. The transformation was slow, but powerful. I started working out, taking control of my finances, and reconnecting with old friends I hadn't seen in years. Every step I took was a reminder that life could move forward, even without her. And then, a week later, the news arrived. The man she'd been flirting with, the one at the party, had dumped her the very next day. Lisa was stunned. Her world, carefully constructed on deceit and half-truths, began to crack. She expected me to beg, to plead, to reassure her that 15 years of marriage could survive a single night of betrayal. But I remained calm, distant, untouchable. The next morning, I woke early and went for a run along the beach. The cool wind stung my face, and each step felt like a reclaiming of myself. 15 years of compromise, of swallowing pride, of putting her happiness before mine. It all began to feel like history, something that belonged in the past. Meanwhile, Lisa tried desperately to regain control. She called my office, left voicemails, even showed up at the house, smiling with forced warmth. "We can fix this," she said, words dripping with the kind of conviction only someone fearing the consequences of their actions could muster. But I had already fixed myself. I had rebuilt my life from the ashes of betrayal, and nothing she said could alter that reality. Then came the evening of the company gala, the event I had been preparing for months. The event represented everything I had built while she had been chasing illusions and excitement elsewhere. Our friends and colleagues mingled, celebrating new achievements and partnerships. And there she was, Lisa, walking in with that same confident smile, thinking she could step back into the life she had once taken for granted. When our eyes met, I saw it. The recognition, the shock, the dawning understanding of just how far she had underestimated me. She had imagined me broken, defeated, perhaps even diminished. But what she saw now was a man thriving, commanding attention, and unapologetically successful. Her companion for the evening, the very man from the Bachelorette party she had believed would replace me, paled beside my presence. Lisa realized instantly that the illusion of her triumph, the fantasy of my disappearance, had been just that, a fantasy. I walked past her with a casual nod, acknowledging the social norms. But inside, I felt nothing but the quiet satisfaction of victory. Not revenge, not malice, just the clarity of knowing that my life had moved forward while hers had stagnated. She tried to speak, attempted a casual conversation as if nothing had happened, but I remained composed, polite, and untouchable. Every word she uttered was a reminder of the choices she had made, and every glance I gave her reminded her of the life she had lost. By the end of the night, Lisa left early, her confidence replaced by uncertainty, her smugness dissolved into regret. She had glimpsed the man I had become, the man she thought would vanish into nothingness, and realized painfully that she could never take him back the next morning. The aftermath settled like dust. Lisa didn't call. She didn't text. I didn't seek confrontation, and she didn't push. The tension of the previous night hung silently between us, unspoken but undeniable. She understood now that 15 years of her choices couldn't be erased by empty apologies or fleeting charm. Over the following days, I focused entirely on my life, my company, my friends, my health, and my sense of purpose. I realized something crucial. Betrayal could not define me. It could not shape my worth or dictate my future. I had spent too long seeking validation from someone who didn't value it. That chapter was over. Then, a week later, an unexpected encounter solidified the shift. I ran into Lisa at a local cafe, not by arrangement, but by coincidence or fate, perhaps. She froze when she saw me, the same wide-eyed shock from the gala, only magnified by proximity and the intimacy of a small space. "Daniel," she began, voice trembling. Her carefully constructed facade of confidence crumbled under the weight of recognition. I didn't realize. I held her gaze calmly. "You didn't realize what, Lisa? That I can thrive without you? That life doesn't stop when someone chooses to betray it." Her lips quivered. She swallowed hard, searching for words that would justify herself, seeking a way to repair the irreparable. But there was none. For the first time in 15 years, I felt free. Free from expectation. Free from resentment. Free from someone who had chosen deception over partnership. The man who walked into that cafe was not the same man who had been betrayed at a bachelorette party. He was stronger, wiser, and unshakably grounded in self-respect. Lisa's eyes filled with tears, not of relief, not of reconciliation, but a stark realization of what she had lost. She could not undo the years of independence, of growth, of life that I had built without her. Every step I had taken while she thought me defeated had led me to this moment. Unafraid, confident, unassailable. She spoke again, almost whispering. I never imagined You never imagined I'd survive. I finished for her, letting the truth settle. And not just survive, thrive. As she left the cafe, her world in quiet disarray, I felt no malice, no need to gloat. My victory was revenge. It wasn't humiliation. It was a simple, undeniable fact that I had lived fully, honestly, and with integrity, while she had been trapped in the consequences of her own choices. Sometimes, life teaches the hardest lessons through absence, betrayal, and patience. Sometimes, the ultimate power lies not in confrontation, but in transformation, in rising above the person who sought to diminish you. And on that day, as I watched her walk away, I knew one absolute truth. The man who had vanished from her life 7 years ago and now, fully realized, was untouchable, unstoppable, and entirely beyond her reach.